In the mid-11th century, a quiet peninsula in Europe would become the battleground for a clash of kings, a story of ambition, betrayal, and power. This is the War of the Three Sanchos. It's the year 1065. The Iberian Peninsula, a land of fractured kingdoms and shifting allegiances, is on the edge of war. Three men, all named Sancho, all with royal blood, will set the stage for a conflict that will shape the future of Spain. But what led to this war? Let's go back and look at the situation. At the heart of this war were three kings, each named Sancho, each claiming their right to power over different kingdoms. Sancho II of León was the eldest and the most experienced. He had inherited his kingdom after his father's death and was keen on asserting his dominance over his neighbors. But things weren't as simple as they seemed. In Castile, Sancho IV, his brother, ruled. Though the two were siblings, their relationship was far from harmonious. Castile had been a powerful kingdom, but the rivalry between the brothers was about to ignite a firestorm. And then there was Sancho of Navarre, a king who had ambitions of his own. The kingdom of Navarre, nestled between León and Castile, was a prize worth fighting for. With claims to both his father's and his mother's inheritance, Sancho of Navarre had every intention of seizing more land. But in 1065, the death of King Ferdinand I of León, who had unified much of the Iberian Peninsula, set off a chain reaction that would lead to the War of the Three Sanchos. Ferdinand had divided his lands among his sons, León to Sancho II, Castile to Sancho IV, and Navarre was left to another heir, but it wasn't so simple. Ambition and sibling rivalry ignited a spark. Sancho II of León, feeling his father's legacy was being threatened by his brothers, sought to expand his control over Castile. Meanwhile, Sancho IV of Castile was preparing to defend his kingdom, fearing that his brother would seek to swallow him whole. And there, in Navarre, Sancho the Younger, who was neither the most powerful nor the most recognized, saw his chance to carve out a larger piece of the puzzle. The three men, bound by blood and rivalry, now stood on the brink of war. In 1065, tensions boiled over into open conflict. Sancho II of León attacked Castile, hoping to claim his brother's throne. Meanwhile, the kingdom of Navarre also looked to take advantage of the chaos, raiding territories and asserting its influence. What followed was a series of battles, alliances, and betrayals. Castile and León became locked in a brutal struggle, while Navarre cautiously maneuvered to stay in the game. And in the middle of it all, the kings found themselves at a crossroads. Each king had to navigate his own alliances, some based on family, others based on power, all driven by the quest for control. By 1067, the war was taking its toll. Castile had suffered losses, but León had its own problems. Sancho II of León, despite his early successes, found himself losing support, especially after alienating his own allies. The war was no longer just a contest of brothers, it had turned into a fight for survival. The War of the Three Sanchos not only devastated the armies and kings but also the people of the land. Raids, pillaging, and constant fighting made life unbearable for those who weren't part of the royal struggle. In the end, the War of the Three Sanchos ended without a clear winner. Each kingdom was left in disarray. Sancho II of León would die in 1072, while his brother, Sancho IV of Castile, would eventually consolidate his power. The war had shifted the power balance, but at what cost? Though the war didn't result in a decisive victory for any one king, it reshaped the landscape of Spain. The legacy of the Three Sanchos would live on, but the war served as a grim reminder of the dangers of royal ambition and fractured kingdoms. The War of the Three Sanchos may have been forgotten by many, but it was a crucial turning point in the history of medieval Spain. A story of ambition, betrayal, and the consequences of power, something that resonates across time. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Record Rift. If you enjoyed this dive into history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the past with us.